What's up, YouTube? In today's video, we are going to be reacting to 30 things that will never return to Siege, old things that Ubisoft thought were unbalanced or stupid, so they were removed from the game. It's going to be nostalgic. I've been playing this game since I was a little boy, and I think I'm going to be telling y'all if I like that they removed it, if it was a good thing to remove, if it was broken, etc. All that. Let's get right into it. Make sure to subscribe and go subscribe to R6 Central. They made this video. Shout out them. This dude's mad cool, probably. I don't know.
Rainbow Six Siege has evolved a lot over the years, and with that
Let's get
evolution,
into it.
we've lost a ton of mechanics, features, and moments that defined the
Lots
game
of
for early
things have been
players. Some of
removed.
these changes made the game better, and others
Thousands
stripped
and
away
thousands of
personality. But no
updates.
matter how you feel about them, they were all a
There's
part of
been
what made Siege
like
special.
40
So today, let's
seasons
go
of
over
Siege,
30
bro.
things that are completely gone from Rainbow Six Siege.
Things that are complete. Blackbeard's face
Let's start
shield.
with Blackbeard's face shield, which originally dropped in Operation Dustline in 2016. When he launched, he was
Blackbeard's
flat out
face
broken.
shield?
His rifle shield could block nearly all headshots, and it had full health no matter what.
It was
hated
very
playing
broken
against him
at
because
first.
It felt like he had a god mode in gunfights, but some players liked him for being a more forgiving operator. You could
I will say Blackbeard's shield when it first dropped was the most broken, stupid thing ever. People would sit on head glitches with a 800 HP maybe at one point. I can't exactly remember what its most health ever was, but they would sit on head glitches with like a 500 or 800 HP freaking shield and mow your team down or like spam lean and you could not do anything to combat it, bro. I think having another shield in the game with Blackbeard's new update is, well, not new, but how he is now is annoying having another shield. But I think that it made him actually a viable character because him having a shield that only has like 20 health was also stupid. It was really hard to balance the old
aggressively and get
Blackbeard.
away with it. But after multiple nerfs, Ubisoft eventually reduced his shield HP to just 20, and the
Yeah,
original
20.
Unstoppable face shield is completely gone.
Every single
especially
freaking
after
gun
his
shot
newest
through that
rework.
20 HP. Tachanka's
Somebody else who recently got reworked is Tachanka. Now, most people forgot about Tachanka's mounted turret, which was removed in his rework during Operation.
At Wayfair, we
Okay.
bring style to
Ad.
every
I love
get-together.
Wayfair, of course.
Wings.
Shout out
You mean
Wayfair.
these wingback chairs?
I'm not sponsored. I don't know how many ads are in this video. But yeah,
Operation Shattered
Tachanka,
Legacy
old
in
Tachanka was
2020.
so
For
much fun to meme
years,
around with
Tachanka
and
was seen
spawn
as a
peek
meme
with.
pick. His mounted turret was slow, immobile,
I
and
don't
maybe
think
an
they
easy
should
target,
have
but players
changed
loved him
Tachanka
for that exact
personally.
reason. He
I
became
don't
a
think
kind of inside
we
joke in
needed
the community.
another
Praise
like
Lord
time-wasting
Tachanka was a real
operator.
thing. His rework gave him a mobile
Yeah, Lord
LMG and
Tachanka.
incendiary grenades, turning him into a viable operator.
He was
but also
the
erasing
the
identity that
definition
made
of a
him
meme
iconic in
operator.
Siege's
It was
early
amazing.
days.
Old
Then there's the
deployables.
old deployable shield, which got reworked in year 5 when Ubisoft added the
Dude, I remember when they had the freaking glitch of Jaeger, not even just Jaeger, just any operator really going around, and they'd have the freaking deployable shield as like their freaking face, and it was just impossible to kill them. That was the stupidest glitch of all time, but it was funny.
see-through bulletproof slits. Before that, it was just a solid rectangle that you could crouch
Yep,
behind. It was clunky, easy to vault over, and
Very
prone to weird
clunky.
interactions, but it allowed for
OG
creative
Siege.
gadget placement and cheeky spots. People loved to hide traps like Legion mines or
The
Capcom
darkness
lasers
and stuff
behind them.
is
The
really
update made
really
the shield
interesting
more
to see how much
tactical,
it's
but
changed.
also more abusable. Let's talk about the old bulletproof camera while we're on the topic of secondary gadgets.
I'd never
This was
used
introduced in
bulletproof
2018.
cameras,
Back
so I
then,
didn't even
it
know
could
what the
only
change
look
was.
around and was often ignored because of how limited it was. But some players liked it for the post-plant situations or quick intel. Over time, Ubisoft added secondary effects to it, like the EMP pulse, but the old
Take me
basic
back to
version
old
was
Garage.
completely stripped away. The next thing that they removed was actually on a primary gadget.
Invisible Echo
And that
drone.
was
This
Echo
was
Drone's
busted, dude.
invisibility. Now, because of how invisible
Echo
Echo
was
drones
so
were, the
freaking
meta
good.
for him was really common in year
Old
3 and year 4,
Cafe.
especially in
Oh
Pro
my
League. Echo
gosh.
players
I
found
miss the old
crazy
maps.
places to put his Yokai drone, making it almost impossible to lose any post-plant situations since attackers couldn't find or shoot the drone that was stunning them. While it was clearly broken, some defenders
Echo
loved
was
the power it
insanely
gave,
broken.
even if it was completely unfair. Ubisoft eventually reworked it to what we
This
have
was a
now,
good
and
change.
Invisible Echo is now just a memory we have in our brains.
If they kept Echo OP, this game was dude.
Back in
Jeez.
early Siege, though, another memory we
T
have
Hunt
in our
Bomber,
head
that
is
was the
T-Hunt
funniest
bombers.
thing to
These were
die to
part of a
them.
terrorist
I
hunt
never
mode,
really
but these
played T
guys
Hunt,
wore
but
suicide
to die
vests
to
and
them was the
sprinted toward
funniest
you
thing
with
ever.
absolutely zero fear, often killing you and himself. They were part of the PvE content.
Yeah,
and
when
made
there's two of
T-Hunt
them
feel
back to back,
chaotic
dude, it's
and
just
often unpredictable. Some players hated them for how random and frustrating they were, and arguably unkillable they were too.
Bro,
while
take me back
others
to
liked the
Bartlett
tension that
University,
they added
bro.
to Terrorist Hunt. They were removed around year 3 when
That's
Ubisoft
ball
shifted
knowledge.
T-Hunt to a more basic training tool.
T Hunt itself.
Speaking of that, T-Hunt
I
itself
played
just
every
isn't what it
now and
used
then
to
the
be.
warm
In
up.
early years, people
I
actually
usually
used
just
it to
hop in the
warm up
ranks
and
though.
learn
Nobody,
map layouts, kind
well,
of like how
a
you
lot of
use the
people
map
did, but
trainings
I
now,
never
but
really
it's
played
since been
T Hunt to warm
completely
up.
removed from the game. Now,
Warming
it's
up
become
is
more
for
of a
wussies,
relic
bro.
that only
That's
the
what
old
they say.
players got to experience than a feature that anybody actually knows
The quick
now.
peeking. Cookable
Another
grenades.
key mechanic that is completely gone in New Rainbow Six Siege
I
is
think with
cookable
yellow
grenades,
pings,
which
this
were
definitely,
removed in
there's no
2020.
chance
You
they
used
could
to
have
be
kept
able to
this in
hold
the
a
game.
frag grenade and release it with perfect
Yellow
timing,
pings
and
with
depending
cooking
on
grenades.
how long you held it, it would delay the grenade
Stupid,
for
bro.
a certain amount of time. Skilled
I
players
think
loved
yellow
it. It
pings are
rewarded
just stupid
precision
though.
and made clearing
I don't think that
utility
should be a
very
thing.
satisfying. But it was also abused by attackers who would throw it beneath floors
Yellow
onto
pings
anybody
just
that they
make
had
the
a yellow
game less
ping on. This was
skill
completely uncounterable for the
based.
defenders unless they
You don't
just
need to
kept
know
moving like
comms.
they
You
were
don't
an
need to
attacker
communicate
going
as much
against a
with yellow
pulse.
pings.
It was safe to say that it had absolutely no counter. Eventually, Ubisoft removed the ability to
The freaking
cook
coconut
frags,
brow
so this wasn't
lineup.
an issue, making them detonate on a timer only after they
Dude, we're
landed
doing
on the
crazy
ground.
nade lineups
In most
instead
people's
of cooking
opinion,
them.
what they should have done was just taken away the damage that grenades did through floors. That way you could still cook the grenades, but the through floor grenades weren't lethal.
Well, making it
Speaking of grenades,
Ooh,
though,
3
there actually used to be
flashbangs.
3 flash grenades per operator.
This was peak
This was
Ash,
absolutely
bruh.
insane, especially when you pair it up with people like Ash, who already were running in with the R4C as a 3-speed. Having 3 flash grenades to be able to help you rush or get kills, which was completely insane. It was annoying to play against, especially with poor flash detection, and with you being able to take out all of Jaeger's kit in one
I don't
operator.
think it's
Reducing it to
crazy
2 health
insane.
balanced things out, but also made flash utility more limited for players who relied
I think
on it.
this was a good change, but I don't think it was like
Glaz's red
super
scope is another one
important.
for the history books. Added with the
In-game
original
changing.
Glaz in 2015, this thermal optic highlighted enemies in bright red, making
Bro,
it even
nobody
deadlier in
plays
smokes,
Glaz
but it
anymore. I don't
also
know the
made
last
everything
time
around
I
it
seen
slightly
my
red as
a
well. For
random
years, he was one of the
actually
most
hop on
frustrating
Glaz.
operators to fight if you didn't bring
There's
the
no
right
point to
counters,
really.
and was
Nobody
arguably seen as
wants to use that
overpowered
dang
on
sniper.
release. At one point, he could even see through multiple smokes and fire with perfect accuracy from across the map. But players loved the power fantasy. It felt satisfying to one-shot
That's
somebody
some
through
clean
a smoke.
clips, though.
Eventually,
Hey, good
Glaz's
one
scope
taps.
was
Good one
nerfed into
taps,
a
bro.
manual toggle and later reworked entirely. That iconic red glow when you aimed in is completely gone.
Old Clash
So is the
Shield.
old Clash Shield. If you don't know, with Siege X
Clash
coming
is
out
just
shortly
annoying
after
now,
this
bro.
video
Clash
will
has
be
always been
released,
annoying.
Clash, as you know her, and her shield is completely
They had to
gone.
change it
And
because
now
there's
it's
too
been
many
replaced
bugs.
by an even wider and taller shield that you're able to deploy like a deployable shield
I
and
think that's
shock
why
with
they changed.
remotely while swinging off of it with your gun. It's safe to say
Clash
that new
is-
Clash is completely overpowered, and in my opinion, as someone who has played in the test server,
I
one of
wouldn't
the
say
best
new Clash
defenders
is
in the
overpowered.
game, or at least she will be once people realize how to use her new shield.
Okay, so this
because
was when
Clash's old
Clash
shield
first
is
dropped. This is when
completely
he made
gone.
that video. I don't think Clash is that broken.
Just like the old knife animation
Old knife?
that used to happen when you
I
were
used to
melee. It
freaking
used to be
godly
fast and
knife
simple.
the
When
heck
you'd
out of the
melee,
floor
it would arch
after every
your
single
arm
kill.
from left
I
to
still
right
do
and
it
make a
with the
circular
new
sweeping
knife,
motion. In a
but it's
tactical
not as
FPS,
tough.
though, this is just not how you stab somebody or cut somebody if
Shout
you're
out
trying
Godly,
to
bro. That
actually
dude was-
hurt them. Now, when you actually use your melee, you try to stab them with the knife
Kyle,
instead of
bro's
just
name
throwing
is
your arm in
Kyle.
a circle like a moron. Some players prefer the new style for its tactical approach, but many old school players miss how clean the old knife
Yeah.
used to feel.
Old knife was clean. Runouts.
And then there's runouts. Defenders used to have a full 5 seconds before they were detected.
Yeah, this is an
outside
amazing
after running
change.
out the
5
map.
seconds
And in
of
Siege's
running
first
out before
ever
being
patch,
detected
they
was
actually
so
took
stupid.
this away without the game being out for even a month. That gave room for creative
don't know
flanks and
about-
spawn peaks, and some players loved using it to throw attackers off their rhythm. But it was also one of the most hated mechanics in Siege on release. Players complained
Just
about
having a
dying
lot of
right
time
after spawn,
before you get
eventually
detected is
Ubisoft reduced
stupid.
the timer to 1 second, then made detection instant. Now, runouts are much riskier and far less common.
Recruit.
Something
This
else
is a
that's not
terrible
far less
change.
common, but actually completely gone, is old
Nah.
recruit. What you one operator that everybody
This was a terrible change, and I'm gonna tell you why. I cannot recruit. I cannot recruit Rush anymore. Nobody plays Sentry. Nobody. I don't even know what the other one's name is. Nobody plays the new recruits, dude. Freaking bring back OG recruit. I've played the wild card mode was so much fun just because you could play recruit like that, dude. Nobody likes this new recruit stuff, bro.
could play, and that was
Hashtag
Recruit.
bring
This
back
was
OG
fully
Recruit.
removed from online play in year 6. Now, old Recruit was officially removed in Operation New Blood, when they would introduce Striker and Sentry as the replacement
Striker
for
and
who could
Sentry.
play in ranked. Old Recruit
Useless,
was
bro.
actually so good that it was banned in Pro
Terrible
League and
freaking
actually
update, bro.
taken out of ranked as well
Bring Recruit
before
back.
Operation New Blood. For most people, though,
I think
they
I
were
have
just a
one
meme
game
pick that you
total
would use
played
to recruit rush with
between
all 5
both
players
the
into
new
the bomb
recruits.
site with some of the worst operators in the game. Recruit didn't have a unique ability. The flexibility made them surprisingly strong, though. Now, something else that was surprisingly
Burst.
strong that Ubisoft removed was a bit of a subtle mechanic. A subtle mechanic that even my old players might not remember, and that was fire mode switching. You used to be able to toggle your weapon between full auto, burst, and single shot. Even on some weapons like the
They got
F2
rid of
on
burst,
Twitch,
man.
you used to change the fire rate. Most
missed
people
the
actually
Kanye,
never
straight from
used
the
it, and that's
goat.
why they removed it, but it was useful for recoil control and sound baiting
Top
for
fire,
the higher
yeah.
play of Rainbow Six Siege players. Ubisoft quietly removed it from most guns around year 5 because they called it an unnecessary complexity in the game.
Old Clubhouse, dude.
Something else that was
Zofia
completely
Withstand.
unnecessary
They removed
was
this.
Zofia's Withstand. Now, Zofia's Withstand was one of the most controversial mechanics in Siege history.
This
Added
was
an Operation
this
White
was
Noise
so
with the operator
stupid.
Zofia. It allowed her to revive herself
They-
once per round after.
Okay, it just pulled me out of the video. They removed this because of a freaking pro play game. Someone won it because of the Withstand. Someone won a pro league game because of Withstand, and then they added Rook where everyone has freaking Withstand, bro. This was stupid, bro. Freaking bring Zofia Withstand back. Make Zofia great again.
Being downed. Like, she had her own Rook armor. It gave her clutch potential and made her hard to trade. Some players loved having that second chance, especially in those close 1v1s, and others
Make
hated how
Zofia great
unpredictable
again.
it made gunfights. After multiple seasons of backlash and pros complaining about it in Pro League, it was finally removed in year 6.
Pros ruin everything, dude.
The $5
Wawa!
breakfast deal is
I'm
back
orange.
at Wawa. Get any sizzly, any
Around the same
Elamage.
time, Ella's mind also used to detonate when enemies were down. That means you could down someone and still get stunned by Ella, giving defenders a clear advantage. Ubisoft eventually changed its interaction, removing that
Ella was
frustration
so
from attackers
tough
at the
off
same time that they
rip.
removed Zofia's passive as well.
Ella was so good off rip, bro.
Something else
The
that was
whacking it,
removed that a lot
bam,
of people
whacking
miss
the
was
defuse,
old
boom,
defuse
boom,
animation, which was
boom.
much more snappy and, I guess, less realistic. Whenever you'd plant, the bomb would go down, pretty much like normal. But when a defender would try to destroy your diffuser, instead of pulling out a separate thing to defuse the diffuser that's defusing the bomb, you used to just grab your gun and smack the
smash that.
shit out of the diffuser. It was a lot funnier to watch, but
It
a lot
was-
less realistic.
It
and
was
because
funny,
of that, people
wasn't
do miss it a
realistic.
lot.
Bring it back. The 1.5,
Something else
terrible
that a lot of
freaking
people do
scope.
miss, even though it was
Thank God they
completely
removed the
broken, was a
1.5.
certain scope. The scopes have gone
Nobody
through a lot of
misses this,
changes.
bro.
The 1.5
If you do, it's
times
'cause you were a
scope
crush.
specifically as well. The 1.5 times scope was
Say it.
introduced in Operation Shadow Legacy in 2020.
If you
It
miss
quickly
it, you
became
were
a
a
fan favorite
crush.
for giving just enough zoom without being overwhelming in your peripheral. But after a few seasons, Ubisoft realized it gave too much advantage and started removing it from frag-heavy operators. Not only did they remove it from frag-heavy operators, but in Operation Deadly Omen, they completely removed it from the game entirely.
Good job, Ubisoft. 2-time scope.
Same
Bring it
exact
back.
thing for the 2.0x scope as well, which only existed for a short time before being pulled from most guns entirely. Players like the variety of these two optics brought, but the devs prioritized balance over preference.
Bring it back, bro. Old House, the
Same
greatest
exact
map
thing
to
can
ever
be said
live.
for the old
I used
House
to
map.
run
This was
OG
a
House
fan favorite
Garage
casual
Wars with my
map, and
homie
it's one of the
Alex
first
12
things in
hours
this
a day,
video that
bro.
I'll be
I was a
talking about that
DJ.
most people, including myself, wish was still in the game. The House
Yep.
rework came in
We all
2020
wish
with
this was still in the
Operation
game.
Steel Wave, and while the new version is more balanced, the original had charm. It had nostalgia, and it was the first map ever made that really instilled itself in the fans' hearts. It was a small, fast-paced, and pure
Bring it
chaos
back.
map. People miss it because it represented a simpler time in Siege, before every map needed to be esports ready.
That hat.
Another change
I
that sped up
miss
the game
OG
was the
House.
removal of slow reinforcements. In early Siege, reinforcing a wall took longer, and you had to really plan your preparation phase. Mess it up, and you'd be reinforcing mid-round while under fire.
Nobody
It was
planned their
tense, but some
preparation.
players
Yeah,
enjoyed that
everyone had
pressure.
2
Ubisoft later on sped the
reinforcements.
reinforcement animation up to improve flow, which really helped.
Everyone
Also
had 2
removed the high-risk
reinforcements,
moment.
and it wasn't just like a. I think that was a good
Somebody's
change,
risk
changing
that actually
reinforcements.
got increased over time is Thatcher. Now, old Thatcher is somebody that's been nerfed over
He's
time.
now
His EMPs used
completely
to
reinforced,
completely disable or
reworked, and
destroy in certain electronics instantly. If there were bandits on a wall, you throw an EMP down, and the bandits would die
good
and would
Thatcher is
disappear and would be
game-changing, though.
gone. They wouldn't just disable them, they would kill them. Simple, effective, and way too overpowered. But with the rise of electronic utility, with operators like Cade, Aruni, it became way too much. Ubisoft changes EMPs to temporarily disable gadgets in year 7, and while he's still strong now, he's not the must-pick he once was.
Nobody really
The
plays them
exact
that
same
much anymore.
thing can be said about the next operator,
Dude,
which is
Legion
Legion.
was
And I
peak,
specifically
bro.
want to
Legion
talk
was
about
so
the
good,
removal
bro.
of invisible Legion mines.
Legion was
Invisible
so
Legion
good.
mines were another
Oh, that
annoying part
shotgun's
of
still
early
broken,
Siege.
bro.
They used to be completely
Invisible
hidden
goo
from
mines
no
were
glow,
stupid.
no sound. You'd be walking through a room and suddenly start limping. It was
They're still really
rage-inducing
good
for
now.
attackers, but
Oh,
Legion
bro got
mains
slammed.
loved it. Now the mines are more visible and Legion's pick rate has dropped a little bit, but he's still a great operator.
Streamer charm.
Something else that's dropped is also the amount of streamer charms. And this is because
They still
Ubisoft
do this, I
has
feel like.
removed their rule of adding 4 streamer charms per season to now only adding 1. Streamer charms used to rotate more often too. Around year 4 and 5, there would be 4 or even more charms every season added,
Shout out.
which gave smaller creators
Only
more
good
visibility
content
and
creator
allowed bigger
charms, the
creators
Icy
to
Cat
have their
charm,
name
bro.
heard even more.
I don't
Now
know any
the
of the other
program
ones.
is way more exclusive, and players miss that sense of community variety.
What's the best
It doesn't
streamer
even
charm?
make sense as to why they would do this, as there are more
The kill
Siege
charm,
streamers
bro.
being added today than there ever have
Bring
been.
back the kill charm. Night maps.
Another
Night maps are
atmospheric
alright.
change was the removal of
A lot of
night
people
maps,
say they miss
which
them, but I
disappeared
feel
in
like you
2020. If
really
you didn't
would
know,
it
some
when you
maps
play
used to
them.
only be at night, which made spawn peeking and seeing attackers outside really hard to do. Some people hated how hard it was to see, but others loved the unique vibe it brought. It made maps feel different, even if the layout was the exact same.
Didn't make them unique.
Let's not forget the old angled grip though, which used to
Why
give
is
a
it
much bigger
paused?
ADS speed boost. Fraggers loved it because you can
My recording randomly ended. And now it's actually on YouTube.
Ubisoft later completely
What the
reworked
flip?
the angled grip, making it to where you could reload faster instead of making it to where you could ADS faster.
Angled grip. Laser sight.
Another attachment they completely changed is the laser sight. The laser sight made it to
Was a
where
big
when you were
change.
hip firing, your bullets were more accurate.
Made
which
drop
in most
shotting
case scenarios was
really
actually
good.
pretty useless. Now, aside from emitting a visible beam, that actually makes you ADS faster, which is pretty useful. It can give away your position, but unless you're on defense,
never
as
use
an
laser
attacker,
sights.
it's not really an
Don't
issue
use laser
because they
sights,
probably
man.
know where you're coming from anyways. It makes sense from a realism standpoint, but old players definitely feel the difference. Another thing that most old players can feel the difference of is the removal of the 3-map ban system. The 3-map ban system was introduced in Operation Shadow Legacy during 2020 and removed in 2023. This gave players less control over what maps they played, because if you're only banning 3 maps, you can just communicate to the enemy
Take
team
us back
what
to
map
when we
you're
just
banning,
got a
so they
random
ban
map,
the other
yeah.
bad map, and then you ensure that you play the same maps over and over and over again.
Just take me
Now,
back
they
to OG
removed it to
Siege,
where you
man.
have 5 maps in the map pool. That way, even if you ban 2 bad maps, it's still not guaranteed what map you can play, which does force you to play those bad maps and learn them sometimes.
give us
Overall, a
random
healthy
maps,
change,
bro.
but one that a lot of people didn't like.
Ranked 1.0.
Now, for the 30th and final item in today's video that Rainbow Six Siege removed for good, we have arguably the most impactful and important removal in Siege history, and one that is probably the most controversial, and that is the removal of Ranked 1.0. Ranked 1.0 was a completely different rank system than what we have now. It was removed in Operation Solar Raid, and most people wish
Placements.
it
They had
never
10
left.
placement
With Ranked
matches,
2.0,
bro.
You start from
I
copper no
remember
matter where
those
your
10
last rank
placement
was.
matches,
In
bro,
Ranked 1.0, you had
pretty
placement
much
matches that would start you
defined
in
if
the
I
rank
was
the
happy
game
for the rest
think
of the
that you
rest
deserved
season or
based
not,
off
bro.
of past season data, and obviously those placement matches. In Ranked 1.0 also, there was a direct meaning
Ranked
behind your
2.0 champ
skill
is
and
free.
your rank, whereas in Ranked 2.0, your rank doesn't mean
Ranked
anything
1.0
because
charms
your
were also
hidden
a lot
MMR
better.
determines what the game actually thinks your skill level is. Regardless of what you think of Ranked 1.0, it was clearly better and more rewarding
battle
than
aim.
Ranked 2.0 is now, and it's one of the worst changes in Rainbow Six Siege history. With that out of the way, that's it for today's video. Check out this next video, and I'll see you there.
Dave,
Good
the number
video. Watch the David movie. Praise the Lord for real. Good ad right there. Yeah. Only thing, one of the big things, keep recruit, bring old house back, and let me play OG Tachenka, man. I want to play OG Garage Wars with OG Tachenka. And all of my sadness would be gone. I don't have sadness. I'm a pretty happy guy. But that would make me 10 times happier, because that would just be me reliving my childhood. So Ubisoft, if you're seeing this video, which you're probably not, let's be so for real, bring back Old House. Maybe just in customs, bro. It don't even matter. That customs would be enough. Like, you can easily bring it back in customs, I think. I love you all. If you made this far in the video, make sure to subscribe. like, send this to a friend. And if you haven't already, bro, delete Siege because it's probably ruining your life. Let's be real. I'm just kidding. Don't delete Siege. Keep playing it. I love you all. Mwah.